Phoenix, Arizona. Good morning. Here, live from Phoenix, Arizona. Here we are with the Sell a House Wholesale Real Estate Training number 96 on Wednesday, March 25th, 2015. Beautiful day today. Amazing week that we've been having here. We got 4 deals in escrow on Monday. I think we got another one locked up yesterday and into escrow that John got locked up on Monday. So, I mean, things are just rolling along, and that's just the way it goes. And it's all because, as I was talking about on New Op Day, the commitment to success, the nonstop do whatever it takes attitude to take on any and all challenges that come your way. And trust me, from January 1st to just last week, we have had a couple of massive challenges in our fold that we've been dealing with, and we're finally getting those buttoned up and closed up and put away. And because we stuck to it, we did the right thing. We made everybody created a win-win situation for everybody. We ironed out all the kinks and created, a smooth process for all, that now we are being rewarded with a couple of really, really good deals. And that's just how things work. You go out there and you have some struggles, you have some things that just really just, put it to you, put you to the test, and you persist and you work your way through all that stuff, and you come out the other side, and then all of a sudden you get rewarded. So that's kind of what happened to us this past the beginning of 2015. Some rough times, some struggles, some major realizations to come to, and changes to make, and things to put in place, and now all of a sudden we reap the rewards. We see the fruits of our labor. So what do you think of all that there, Mr. Johnny?
I think that I hadn't paid attention really to a word you just said. I heard something about fruits of our labor, and you get out what you put in, and we're definitely being rewarded right now for years of BS and hardship. Now it seems like we're getting deals regularly and everything's happening because you know why? We figured out a system, we figured out how to apply it, and we realize and understand that it all starts with yourself, and you have to get out there and take action. There's a lot of people that want to get into real estate. They get hung up on the education part, and they go and they buy lots of programs and they buy lots of webinars, and they become basically program and webinar junkies, and they spend tens of thousands of dollars and they apply nothing, and then they become trash mouth junkies. I would say they're the guys that go online and start criticizing and putting down and critiquing all the different gurus and programs and out there, and the very idea of real estate investing itself as stuff that doesn't work, BS, charlatans, all this other stuff. And this is something we talked about on Friday as well, and it's all because they spent a bunch of money taking a bunch of courses and never actually took anything that they learned and or paid for and applied it in a real world setting and tried it out in real life and made it happen. Therefore, it didn't work for me. It must be a scam. Well, maybe it didn't work for you because you're not the kind of person that doesn't take action. So that's my point this morning, is that we need to be men of action or women of action, and it's more than just the education, it's the application of that education. There's a saying which goes, knowledge is power. Well, I don't believe knowledge is power at all. It's only when you apply the knowledge that you have to make any sort of a change or difference in your life or to impact something. It's only through action that knowledge has any power. It's not the simple act of having the knowledge, it's actually applying what you know. That's where the power in lies. So my message for today is action, and that's where you get results.
Absolutely. I like what you said there about knowledge not being power, because you can be the smartest person in the world and sitting in a room doing nothing with all that information, and what power do you have? You've got power over the little mice that are running around eating the crumbs that you're leaving a trail of. But there's no power there unless you take that information that you have and you apply it to something, and that is absolutely true. And the thing that John was talking about there with the program junkies who get stuck with in the position of not going anywhere and never having any success is because their focus is all about the how. They're sitting there asking themselves, over and over again, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What if this happens? Well, what do I do if this happens? What do I do if that happens? What do I do if somebody calls me? What do I do if I send out the wrong letter? What if I do if somebody gets mad? What if I do if I actually have to fill out a contract? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And that's the wrong attitude that gets you stuck where you are not ever going anywhere. The real question you should be asking to all of those same problems is, who am I? What am I becoming? Am I growing? Am I strong enough to take on this challenge? Do I have enough knowledge for this to achieve this? Do I need to spend some time finding out some more information? And am I the type of person who's willing to do that? Am I the warrior who's going to do what it takes to be successful? Who am I? Not what do I do. What do I do will keep you doing nothing. Who am I? And answering those questions with yes, you are that person. You are the type of person who can do those things. As John mentioned, it's all about you. Your success or failure comes down to all about you. It's not wrapped up in that pretty little box of programs that you bought. It's not in those CDs that you're listening to. It's not in those little manuals that you're reading. It's not on the videos that you're watching. It's inside of here, and it's inside of here. You got to have the heart and the mind, and the heart is the desire, and the mind is the application of the action. And with those two things, you can be successful at whatever you want to do, wholesale real estate included.
Absolutely. Am I on right now?
Yeah, you're on.
I don't know why. It looks like it just shut down. I apologize. So, and another thing is, like, you got to be willing to get out there and do the things that other people aren't willing to do. And quite frankly, do things that other people aren't doing and things that people haven't even thought about doing. One of the things that I'd like to say about Property Noodlers and what Paul and I are doing is, what wholesalers do you know out there that are mailing out letters, that are doing a mailing campaign, waiting for the phone to ring, are getting 4 deals in 3 days? I would say almost none of them. Direct mail marketing does work, but I believe it only works if you're able to probably send out a minimum of 1,000 mailers at a time, because the response rate is what, 2-3% to a mailing campaign? So you know what 2 to 3% of 1,000 is? It's only 20 or 30 phone calls, and out of those 20 or 30 phone calls, you might only get about, actually statistically they say you need to make about 50 offers to get 1 accepted offer. So out of those first 20, 30 phone calls, you have the potential to not even make 1 deal. Quite frankly, I think you need to be sending out about 2,000 mailers to get 1 or 2 deals. Do you have $2,000 to send letters? No. Most people I run into and talk to, it's funny, I sat with a guy just about a year ago now at this point, who was all excited because he was going to send out 40 letters a week. 40 letters a week. That will not get you a deal. And if it does, you just got real damn lucky. You have to be willing to do things that other people aren't willing to do or haven't thought of doing. Paul and I, what we do on a daily basis is go out and get deals. We're not waiting for deals to come to us, and we're not just sending out mailers waiting for someone to call until we get up and take some action.
Nope. We take the action we take the bull by the horns, and we ride it to the bell. I mean, that's what it's all about. And exactly, there's different things that you can do to try to generate leads in wholesale real estate. And you know what? Lead generation, as far as we're concerned, it ain't that good. Lead gathering now, that's a whole other thing. That's what we do. We gather our leads. We go out and we find them, and once we find our leads, then we go and talk to our sellers. That's pretty much the bottom line, you know. So it's a whole different story of actually making the connection to the seller on your side than it is from, you know, presenting the opportunity for a seller to make the connection to you. That's where kind of the difference lies, is we don't sit there and just give the seller an opportunity to connect with us. We take efforts to connect with them. So that's the difference right there. And because we do so, we will end up getting a deal that others will not get. And that's how we can pull down 4 deals in 5 days, pretty much, or whatever it is. So it's all about, like John says, thinking out of the box, doing things different, applying the knowledge that you've gained. You know, this is not something that John and I were doing last year, the way that we're doing things like this, but we've gained new knowledge, new information over the course of that time, and we didn't just sit there and say, oh, that's really cool. Wow, I think that's an awesome idea, and not do anything about it. We went, wow, that's really cool. I think that's an awesome idea. Hey, John, what do you think about that? Yeah, I think that's pretty awesome too. You know what? I think we should start doing something like that. And we went out and applied it. There's your difference right there. Application.
Yeah, application. And actually, we're getting a little confused, Paul, because we haven't gotten contracts on 4 properties. It's actually 5 properties.
Yeah.
We have a closing today, 3 in escrow, and 1 that we're going to be putting in escrow after a probate's complete on it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually 5 deals since Saturday.
Right.
Awesome.
You know, when you got more deal, when you forget about how many deals you have, when you got more deals than you can remember, that's not a bad problem to have.
Now we just got to get us. Now that we're having so many deals come in place, we have to have assistants create the system to remember all the deals that we got, right?
Well, yeah. Well, you know what? Not necessarily. We just need to perfect that system that we have to just plug them right into, you know, rolling out the back end, so we don't have to remember them.
Yeah, exactly.
All we got to do is remember the closing date, so we can pick up that check. That's what it's all about. You know, I mean, that's what building a business is all about, right? Is creating systems that do a lot of the work for you, right? And realistically, building a wholesale real estate system, you want to create, first of all, systems that start bringing in deals. Secondarily, you want to start creating systems that move your deals, so that basically the only system that you have to be part of is the system of cashing the checks. You know, that's the whole bottom line here. That's what we're working towards here, is building a system to where my key role, the one key element that I play in this business, is to make sure that the money is in the bank and available to, you know, pay for the systems. You know, that's it. That's the ultimate goal there. Be able to look at the bank account on the online on a first of a month and push a few buttons and have all the bills paid and see how much money's left over, so I can know how many Mai Tais I can have for the next 30 days.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, Paul, you're going on a vacation kind of yourself here at the end of the week, aren't you? Going up to Lake Tahoe?
Yeah, well, got a tax appointment rolled into that, so that's going to destroy a few vacation days, so to speak. And the good news is, though, I mean, we're definitely extremely busy right now, and for me to take off right now is probably a horrible time to do so. But then again, when is there ever a good time, right? So, but on the other hand, you know, looking at the good side of that is the fact that what I'm really busy doing is, you know, working in the business instead of working on the business. And by removing myself from this physical location of Phoenix, Arizona, up to Lake Tahoe, I'm going to be stuck remotely with an opportunity to flip the script on that, where right now I'm working in the business this much and on the business that much, and once I get away from here, I'll have the opportunity to do the opposite of that, work in the business that much and work on the business that much. So that'll give us the opportunity to have this newest system that we just implemented, get it perfected over the course of the next couple of weeks back here. It's up and running and flowing smoothly, and we can get everybody on board with exactly how it runs, and that's just going to increase the potential for us to turn more deals than what we're doing even right now. So and I'll still be able to do some working in the business while I'm away as well too. It'll be limited to phone work, but that's kind of a good thing, because our phone work has actually been lacking a little bit, so we can pick up on that. We can sort of start rolling in a whole new system right behind this one with how to work the phones. That could be like the backup system that'll start, I'm sure, coming into play while this is happening. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do know what you mean. Sorry, I'm just very distracted today. This is a morning that there's a million things going on because I have a million things to get to today. Very good to have things to do. Anyways, as Paul said, I'm sorry, dude. I'm completely lost. I have no idea what you said. I can't fake it.
Well, okay, we're going to change the subject then. We're going to talk about not only the ability to, take your information and your knowledge and put it into action, but now we're going to switch the gears. We're going to talk about focus, okay? Seriously, this is something you definitely need to work on. If you're going to participate in a hangout, you need to participate in the hangout. Whatever it is that you're working on right now, it can very easily wait 20 minutes. It's not going to end the world, you know what I mean? And whatever it is that you're working on over there, if somebody made your phone call, if you choose one of those things, if you're working on 3 things over there, and somebody makes a phone call and you're working on one of those things, you need to be able to say, hey, you know what? Whatever that phone call is, if it's important, they're going to leave me a message. If it's not, I don't want to talk to them anyway, and I need to finish what I'm working on right now before I get into this next thing, and then the next thing, and not be working on 4 things at once. Something you need to work on a little bit, John. I do too, but I think you a little bit more than me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's you got to be able to focus on one thing at a time if you're going to be effective at anything. That's that saying that I'm a jack of all trades, a master of none. The reason that saying is in existence is because, great, you know how to do carpentry, you know how to do painting, you know how to do plumbing, you know how to do electricity, you know how to hang drywall. But guess what? You're not really good at any one of those things. You know enough to half-ass put some shit together, but you're not good at any one of those things, and the reason is you're trying to be too spread out, and that's kind of what's going on with me this morning, Paul. Quite honestly, is there's been just a few little snafus thrown at me here, mainly banking errors and banking things, but it didn't start just in the last 15 minutes. It started at about 20 to 8 before our first hangout. So. Yeah. But you know what? We have the power to control.
I just wanted to give you a little public accountability call out there.
Well, it gets me talking about the idea that about how important focus and discipline is, and we do have the power to control and direct our own minds, and we have to learn how to block out external factors, control our own thoughts, so that we can focus on what's important right in front of. Like, obviously, this hangout's important. I need to focus on the hangout, and I've been distracted with some banking things, some text messages back and forth, thinking about what I'm going to do 10, 15 minutes from now, rather than just whatever I'm working on now could literally wait 10, 15 minutes. And learning how to focus on just one thing, what's important at the time you're working on it. Identify the important thing and work on that, and everything else can just wait.
You know, that's really powerful what you just said there. Sitting there, you're in a hangout, you're looking at something else, and you're thinking about what's going to happen 10 or 15 minutes from now. All three of those things have prevented you 100% from living in the moment. And that's where you need to be. You know, you need to be living in the moment at all times. And that's hard to do because, like what John just said, you can very easily get distracted, get thrown off onto something that takes your mind away from what you're doing, you know, and away from what, and gets you thinking, you know, about something in the future, which you can't do anything about what's in the future. It ain't here yet. You can only do about what's here right now. And living in the moment is really powerful, and trying to keep your mind living in the moment is a tough challenge to overcome. But when you start doing that, if you start reining that in, you can really get to the point where you can actually accomplish a whole lot of things because you are doing exactly what John just said. You're focusing on one thing at a time. And if you focus on one thing at a time, guess what else you can do? You can stop becoming that jackass of all trades. I mean, jack of all trades, and you can actually become a finisher. I mean, how many projects do you have going on right now that are unfinished? Okay, you can actually, if you start focusing on one thing at a time, you know, you can start something, you can actually see it finish, and then you can start something else, and you can actually see it finish. When you're multitasking is the biggest waste of time in the world. They make it sound so powerful and like you can get so much more done if you can multitask. BS. You're doing three things at once instead of one thing at once. You can do one thing in an hour, right? And you can have it completed. Or you can do three things at once in an hour and have all three of them 1/3 completed. You never get anywhere. The next hour comes along, you still got those three things to do and something else to do. It's just, you know what? Multitasking blows. All right? Focus on one thing at a time.
I agree with Paul 100%. This is funny to me. Multitasking when you're behind the wheel. People should focus on one thing when they're behind the wheel of a car, and that's driving the car. You know, most accidents are caused by distracted drivers. And why do you think there's this giant campaign right now in states that are banning, or not banning, I shouldn't use that word, but making it a ticketable offense to be caught driving or talking on the cell phone, by texting or talking on the cell phone while you're driving, because it's a distraction. That's why they advocate, and there's commercials about don't text and drive. So many accidents have been caused by people thinking, I can drive and I can text message, no problem. You know what? I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old kid, and they like to play and ride their bikes out in front of the house. And when I'm out there, I watch my kids because I don't trust other people. And I see people turn into my apartment complex, and they're coming through this place at like 20, 30 miles an hour, and there's speed bumps every 15 feet. And I love watching people hit those speed bumps when they're on their cell phone texting because they're going like 20 and they don't even realize there's a speed bump in front of them. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, what? And they hit the brake all crazy. And luckily they hit the speed bump and not my kid because I'd kill him. But the point being is, you know what? If you can't do a hangout and text, what makes you think you can get behind the wheel of a car and do it any better?
And that's true. That's so true. If I was trying to do a text right now, I mean, I would totally have to be like this, you know. Blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't be able to be talking at the same. And that's funny. I mean, this is really funny. I literally cannot talk and text at the same time. I mean I mean, I could be on the phone talking, and like I could be talking on the phone and doing this hangout, but texting, I cannot talk and text. It's physically impossible for me.
It's just funny. You know what it is? I just want to let people in on a big secret. This whole hangout has been a hoax. I really was paying attention the whole time. I only pretended not to pay attention so that I could have this conversation with Paul about focus. But anyways, it really takes focus and discipline to be successful in whatever it is you choose to be successful in. So we're talking about wholesale real estate, And that's where Paul and I focus. Probably 95%, 90% of our energies during the day are focused on our wholesale real estate business. Maybe a little less because you factor in that we do focus on personal development. We do have a network marketing business we focus on. But when we're sitting with a seller to do a contract, or we're preparing to go meet a seller to make a presentation to get a contract, that's the only thing that's important at that moment, and that's the only thing to be focusing on at that moment is the task at hand and the now and the moment. Don't, people get so hung up in worrying about what happened in the past and then worrying about what's going to happen to them in the future. And really, to be successful in life, you have to learn to focus on the moment and have enough discipline to stay focused on the task at hand. And you don't want to be a jack of all trades. You want to be a master of a trade. Wholesaling, then become a master at wholesaling. Seek out mentors, education products, networking groups. Seek out these things that are going to help you to be better at, I almost said network marketing, wholesale real estate. And that's part of your focus. Yeah, I want to start meeting people and hanging out with real estate investors. Start focusing on creating those kind of relationships. Do some education. Look at some programs and some products online that you can buy. There's some great stuff out there. Or here's another option for you. Email propertynoodlers@gmail.com. Create a relationship with Paul and I. You'll see that we're really easygoing, just average, regular guys. And we would definitely like to help you elevate yourself or your wholesale business to the next level. And I know that we could do that for you. And the other thing we talked about at the beginning of this call was educate. Don't just get hung up in the education and reading about wholesale real estate or real estate investing and doing all these courses. It comes down to application. So I'm going to toss it back to Paul here. We only got about 3 minutes left of this hangout. But really, the things that we really wanted to drive a point home about today was that it's not just about the education and knowledge, although those things are very important. It's about taking that knowledge and education and actually putting it to use and actually taking action. Action's where the rubber meets the road. And you know what else? You need to learn to focus your mind on one thing at a time, discipline yourself, and stay focused, committed, and keep your attention and your eyes on the prize and focus on what needs to be done now and not worrying about what you need to do 15, 20 minutes from now, but just working on it and concentrating on what needs to get done now. So with that being said, knowledge, action, discipline, and focus. Key words for the day. Back to you, Paul.
Yeah, exactly. And, it all really comes down to forgetting about worrying about the how. The how is the hang up. How is this going to happen? How am I going to do this? How did that happen over there? How did somebody do that? How am I going to do that? How am I going to get this help? How am I going to get this knowledge? How am I going to get all this stuff? That's what gets people hung up. And when you're thinking about how, you're thinking about past and you're thinking about future. You're not thinking about right now. And you just have to focus on, like John said, just focus on the application. Okay, forget about how. Forget about how later, forget about how then. Right now, this is what I know. This is what I know I can do. Just freaking do it. All right? Start doing it, and the how will work itself out. All right. With that, everybody, I'm going to let John close us out here with the Napoleon Hill prayer and any other final thought that he might have for us. And good to see you back on the Hangout, John. You've been missing for a while there, so see if you can remember how to do this.
Oh, gosh. I think it goes a little something like this. Oh, universe, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom with which to make better use of the riches given to me at birth, through the power to control and to direct my own mind to whatever ends I may desire. And with that being said, remember, knowledge isn't power unless it's applied to accomplish a goal. And if you want to accomplish your goals, you need to have focus and discipline on the things that are necessary to the completion of the goal. You don't want to be a jack of all trades, or as Paul said, I love this, a jackass of all trades. That's going to be my new one. You don't want to be a jackass of all trades. You want to become a master of one. So with that being said, I already did the prayer. So have a great rest of the week. We'll see you back on Friday. And you know what, Paul? Why don't you tell them about the Thursday evening mastermind?
Yeah, on the other channel that we have, which is this is the Sell a House channel, so I guess that's going to be the personal protection channel. I'm not quite sure how YouTube works, but that's where you find us. Google Hangouts. Every Thursday we do, just go to Google Hangouts at 8 p.m. on Thursdays, Pacific Standard Time, I guess. Look for Hangouts that are going live. We're doing a open business mastermind where you guys are welcome to join in live with us and bring your thoughts, ideas, and concepts, problems, issues, whatever it is you want to talk about, and we'll put our minds together with everybody on the call, and that is the best way to get new ideas and new information with everybody thinking and focusing along the same pattern there. Mastermind, Power of the Mastermind is awesome. So Open Business Mastermind, Thursdays, 8 p.m., Google Hangouts. Look for us live. You won't be able to join in live unless you've been, got an invite, but if you come and watch and comment or, OnePlus, I don't think I get information from OnePlus, but make comments and send messages and do all those things, then we'll get you into a circle so that you can receive the invitation and next time be able to actually join in with us, okay? So we'll see you tomorrow on 8 p.m. for the Open Mastermind, or we'll see you Friday, Freedom Friday, one of the two, for a whopping good time.